Hello and welcome to this channel. In this video, we are going to talk about how to add sound and sound effect and also background music to your Flutter application. We are going to use Flutter SoLoud plugin. This plugin is based on C++ code and it is very low latency audio package. And it is specifically used for Flutter games because in the games you need to have the sound and audio with low latency. But you can use it for other applications as well. As you can see, it works on Android, iOS, Linux, macOS, web, and Windows. Here I have a Flutter project. In the project structure, I have created an assets folder. Inside the assets folder, I have a music folder with one music and I have sounds folder with 3 different sounds. As always in Flutter applications and Flutter projects, our code is in lib folder. We have the main.dart and then I have created audio folder with audio controller.dart file. Let's start with pubspec.yaml file. In this file, we have added Flutter SoLoud and logging packages. The Flutter SoLoud package is based on the SoLoud project, as I mentioned, a powerful C++ audio engine used for gaming. What makes this package special is that it uses Dart's foreign function interface to call C code directly, which is going to result in extremely low latency, which is critical in game audio. We have included the logging package for debugging purposes, which is especially useful for developing audio features. And finally, we need to declare our asset directories as well. So we mentioned the assets folder and music folder and sounds folder. You have to have the slash at the end so that it knows this music and sounds are folders and not files. If you don't add it, you will get an error. Let's start with audio controller.dart. So at the beginning, we are going to import our packages, the SoLoud and logging. Then we have a class audio controller. We are going to keep all the audio related functionalities in one controller class that will provide a clean API for the rest of our application. This is called a facade pattern in Flutter programming. We have created a logger instance, and then we have an instance of SoLoud. Then we have an instance of sound handle, which we will use later to control the currently playing track. Then we have the initialization to initialize the SoLoud, and then we call init function. Then when our application closes, we make sure to shut down the SoLoud engine with the dispose method. Now let's go to the first method, which is play sound. This method shows the basic process of playing any sound in SoLoud package. We load an audio source from an asset and then we play the audio source. SoLoud distinguishes between an audio source, which is the data and metadata, and the sound instances, which is the actual sound being played. We first load the asset to get an audio source, then tell SoLoud to play it. Also notice that we are handling the exceptions since playing a sound effect isn't usually critical to gameplay if you are using this for games. The next method we have is start music. In the first step, we check if music is already playing. So before starting new music, we first need to check if anything is already playing. We store a reference to our currently playing music in the music handle variable. If it exists and is valid, we stop it before proceeding. This prevents multiple tracks from playing simultaneously and causing the audio chaos. In the next step, we load our music file and we use load_mode.disk, which is different from how we load sound effects. This mode means the audio is streaming from storage in chunks as needed, rather than loading the entire file into memory at once. This is very good for longer audio files like background music because it saves memory while maintaining the performance. In the next step, we need to handle cleanup. Each audio source has an event stream called all-instances-finished that triggers when all instances of this sound have stopped playing. So we listen to this event so we can properly dispose of the audio source when it's no longer needed. We also reset our music handle to null to indicate that no music is playing. And finally, we play the music with several important parameters. We set the volume to 60% so it doesn't overpower the sound effects. We enable looping, and most importantly, we specify a loop start point at 25 seconds and 43 milliseconds into the track. If you are using this for gaming, this loop is critical in game music design because many game soundtracks have an intro section that plays once, followed by a section meant to loop seamlessly. So by specifying exactly where the loop starts, we create a natural flow. The play method returns a handle to the playing sound, which we store so we can control it later. And this enables features like our fade out functionalities. Now we have the next method, which is fade out music. For smooth transitions between audio states, we implement fading. Instead of abruptly stopping the music, we gradually fade its volume to 0 over 5 seconds. Then schedule it to stop completely once the fade is complete. And this creates a much more polished and professional audio experience. In the next method, we can apply audio processing effects. Here, we are applying a reverb filter that makes all audio sounds like it's in a large space, such as cathedral or cave. We can activate the filter and control how much of the effect we want with the width parameter, which is 20% effect, 80% original sound. That's why we have 0.2, which means 20%. Then we adjust the room size. We have 0.9 here, which represents a very large space. This can be useful for dynamically changing how your sound plays based on environment. If you are using this for a game, imagine that your character moving from open field into a cave. So applying reverb effect instantly improves the experience. Now let's move to main.dart. In this file, after importing necessary packages, we set up logging to help with debugging. We are configuring more detailed logs when in debug mode and less verbose logs in release mode. Next, we create an instance of our audio controller and call its initialize method before we can even run the app. This is important because it ensures the audio engine is ready when the UI loads. Notice that we await this initialization so our app won't start until the audio system is ready to go. If you are not familiar with await and async, I have a video explaining all this concept. And finally, we pass the initialized audio controller to our app. Let's move to the build method. In the build method, we pass the controller down to my homepage widget, and then we move to the next class. In the next class, we have an audio controller in the constructor. Then in the class, we define a boolean to track whether the audio filter is applied, and we set up a simple UI in the build method with a column of buttons. The first button is for playing a sound effect. When you press it, it calls play sound method on our audio controller, passing the path to our sound effect. And playing a sound is just one line of code, and all the complexity is inside our audio controller class. The next button is start music. When pressed, it calls start music method on our audio controller. That one line triggers all the complex behavior that we discussed earlier, checking if the music is already playing, loading the music file in the disk mode, setting up cleanup, and starting playback with looping. Next is our fade out music button. When pressed, it calls the fade out music method, which gradually reduces the volume to 0 over 5 seconds and then stops the track. This shows how audio controller handles the transitions elegantly, instead of just abruptly stopping the music. Finally, we have a checkbox to toggle our audio filter. I started the app to see how the UI looks like. It's easier to understand the code. So finally, after the buttons, we have the checkbox to toggle the audio filter. In the checkbox, we have a value, and when the checkbox value changes, we first update our filter applied state variable using the set state, which will trigger a UI rebuild. And then based on the new value, we either apply the filter or remove it by calling the appropriate method on our audio controller. So if I go to the application and click on play sound, it just plays the pew sound. Now if I click on start music, and then I click on fade out music, it starts to gradually fade the music out, otherwise the music keeps playing. Now let me start the music and apply the filter. I don't know if you noticed, when we apply filter, the volume kind of goes up, so it has the effect of being in a larger environment. And this is just one of the many filters that you can apply. You can get more detail on the Flutter SoLoud page in pop.dev. And one more thing is that if I play the music and exit the app, it still plays in the background. And when we go back to the application, the music stops because the state of the application changes. So if you want to continually play the music even when you change the state of the application, like you exited the application and you came back to it, you can implement a code like this. This is the same audio controller class, but in here we have a function, change application lifecycle state. So inside this, we have a switch and we have some cases. In the case that app lifecycle state is resumed, it's going to execute a method. This is when app is visible and running in the foreground. Then another case is when it is inactive, like the app is paused or resumed. It's going to execute the paused method. Another case is detached, when the app is terminated. So based on each state, it's going to run specific function. This is a more advanced implementation of the app, but the focus is to introduce this package to you. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.